with Palestine and stand with all Arabs in our fight for justice and liberation and end the occupation. So we have a bunch of speakers lined up today. Make sure that you're tagging them. Make sure that you are always tagging ADC National in all of your posts. But first, for a short poem, I'd like to bring him up. He was at the dinner last night. But please welcome our brother, poet, Dr. Fady Joudah. Guys, don't stand. Please don't stand. No, you should definitely come to the stage. No, Salam. Get real close, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for saying thank you. Habibi Yamma. In the video, the breathless mother is face to face with her son in his dark blue press gear. With all telecommunications severed for 14 days, he'd been gathering reports on the besieged hospital. They who bomb hospitals and inherit the earth, who fear defeat by social media posts, were done murdering this one. Editor's note: this hospital's cause of death could not be independently verified. The Palestinian mother says to her son, Habibi Amma. She holds his hands, turning them over. She's an anatomist turned fortune teller, circling his waist, running her fingers around his hips, and he lets her, as if she is the tailor of his soul, as if she had seen his death in a recurring nightmare for 2 weeks, and in it his hands were crushed, his love handles blown. She's refusing to accept his wholesome appearance is real. The massacre is over, and it is the hour of the crow. The bulldozers are done with the earth, corpulent, crepuscular, corpsey, corpuscetic. The killers fertilizing our memory with our ghosts and laughing that their memory is immune to our ghosts. Her son has a full head of gray hair. She is wearing a headscarf. She kisses him and he lets her. He turns one cheek, then the other. A Jesus in him, a Jochebed in her, a Hagar, and Fatima is in her. That's her name, Fatima or Zainab. Bespectacled, he removes his glasses, gestures at taking off his vest as proof that he's hiding neither scratch nor wound. Why did you come, mother? You didn't have to come. He says it tenderly, emitting a calm, a decoy of the horror inside them. She says, my heart wouldn't let me, Yamma. In a second, I am filled with panic over the wickedness that may hunt down one of them to spite the other. The video's gone viral. In a second, my tears bring my mother's prayers to my knees, her visions of safety and ruin, their history in her gasping heart, all her life, all of mine. In Rafah, in 1956, she's 7, standing at her front door and shouting the names of abducted young men spared their execution as they reappear on foot, one by one, into the neighborhood, their mothers unable to ululate their joy next to less fortunate mothers. And me, some 2 decades later, a 3rd grader, swallowed by his mother's exhausting grief, towering over the precipice, a portent for the rest of my days. No, Yamma, the school bus did not crash. Yes, the field trip was a blast. Habibti Yamma, I lived. Habibi Yaba, I'm alive. I drank from the only well in the only garden of the only heart I have. The well had been fed for years by tears of every type, and all around me are half strangers. Half stranger, will you let me give you back your sight, or do you still think your heart is all yours? That it isn't like my mother's country.
Thank you, Dr. Fady. Okay, a lot of the people over here, if you can move to the middle, we want to show that there's people on the camera. You know, I mean, just don't stand in front of the camera, but we want to see all your heads in the back thing. So please move this way over here. All right, any more kids want to try any chants? Anything kids think they know what they're doing? Yeah, come on. Come on, hurry up. Come here. What's your name?
Louisa.
You got to be louder. If you're going to chant, you got to be way louder than that. What's your name?
Louisa.
How old are you?
9 years old.
Where are you from?
Palestine.
All right. You're going to do a loud chant for us? Do it loud and let them repeat. Ready? Go.
From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free.
Great job, Louisa. Good job. Get out of here. All right, our next speaker coming up to the stage. She's an influencer, been doing a lot of work for Palestine all over social media. Please help me welcome our sister, Maya Abdullah. Get real close, okay, and loud.
Hello, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. I'm so grateful to be here 300-something days into our genocide and see so many faces still here, still going. Raise your hand if you're not Palestinian in this crowd right now. I want all the Palestinians to look around. Every single one of you, look around. 30 years ago, my mom would go to the same protest and every single person would be Palestinian. And here we have almost more people that are not Palestinian because they see us. We went for so long unseen, unheard, our stories screaming to be heard. And look around at all of I love seeing a white person in a kafiyeh. I love seeing a white person in a kafiyeh. You guys stand for something with us, and it means so much that you are here 300 days later standing with us. I wanted to talk a little bit about feelings because I could come up here and talk about the Nakba. I could talk about things that you have known since you were born, things that your parents have been telling you since you were born. I want to talk about something that our community doesn't talk about. I have cried every day since the beginning of this genocide. And for so long, I felt so bad about it. Like, why are the Zionists, they're so strong, they show their happiness and they do this, and I'm sobbing, and it's because we are human. Palestinians have a beauty within us, is that we are human. We are the most human people on earth. I just want to let you know that if you feel depressed, if you feel down, if you feel sad, it is because you have humanity. It is because you have not fallen to the machine of people telling you that you just keep your life going. You don't care who dies in Congo. You don't care who dies in Sudan. You go to your job, you clock in, you go home. That is not what humanity is supposed to be. We did not come all this way just to leave our brothers and sisters there just because we made it here. That's not what life is about. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here. You are the revolution. Every person here, you are the revolution. You are the only reason that this is still going. You are the only reason. I ask myself, I'm 22. Like, I have doubts. I have insecurities. I ask myself, will Palestine be free? Are we doing this? And I ask myself, like, will it be free? It's hard. We've been going for 300 something days and it feels like nothing's happening. And then I look into this crowd and I look into the Palestinian people, and I know for certainty that when you look into a Palestinian's eyes, you know they will not stop until liberation. There is something in all of us, and every single person here, that I can feel it. You will not stop until liberation. And that is something that no other person can say. We will fight for our people until they're free. And that gives me hope to take that next step forward, to know that you're all with me every single day. So just give yourself a pat on the back. This is not easy. We were not supposed to see these atrocities as human beings. This is not human nature. This is animalistic that we're witnessing. And every single person here is the reason we will see liberation. And just want to thank yourself. It always feels like you're not doing enough, but this means so much to everyone. So that's all I wanted to say, is just these people, you don't get the recognition you deserve for showing up for us day after day after day. It's hard work and you're doing it. So thank you so much. And Palestine will be free. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Go, come here, Abbas. I'm giving you a job. You and our brother here are going to hold the flag behind us, okay? So it's in the background the whole time. All right. Do what he said. Do what the Yemeni guy says. I think that's what we should all do. And I'll say this again. I said it last night, and I'll say it again while they're putting up the flag. We are not ashamed to say thank you to our brothers and sisters in Lebanon protecting the north of our country. And we are also not ashamed to say thank you to our brothers and sisters in Yemen protecting the seas and putting their lives on the line. And they shut down commerce, and Joe Biden went and killed them. Joe Biden said, you mess with our money, we will kill you. That's not what a president says. That's what a mafia boss says. We don't have presidents right now. We have a mafia running our country, committing organized crime. You guys okay? All right, any more kids think they know what they're doing? Any more kid chanters? I'm all down for kid chanters. Put you in the FBI list. You want to chant? All right, let's just hold the flag. Just hold the flag. Wait, we have one more. What? Is he doing it? Come on. Hold it with two. One hand here and one hand here. That's it. Jesus. All right, let's see what happens here. Come here. Be very loud. What's your name?
Leif.
Louder. What's his name? Leif. What's your name?
Leif.
Leif. How old are you?
2.
2. Okay. Where are you from? Can you say Palestine? Where are you from?
From Palestine.
Palestine. Okay. We'll take it. Does he know how to chant, or do I need to help him? Okay, ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Good. Let's do it again really loud. Okay, put your hands up in there. Yeah. Ready? You say, free, free Palestine. Yeah. All right. Let's get him out of here. Oh, somebody just grab him here. Grab him here. Grab him. Ibrahim, grab him. Okay, come here. Be loud, okay? Smile. Okay, good. What's your name?
Jenna.
Jenna, louder. What's your name?
Jenna.
How old are you?
5.
Where are you from?
Yemen.
Say Yemen loud. Where are you from?
Yemen.
All right. All right, chant for me. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Free.
Say it loud. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Free, free Palestine.
Again.
Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine.
All right, Jenna, give me 5. Good job. Big hand for Jenna. Okay, go ahead. Somebody help her down. Help her down. Okay. Our next speaker coming to the stage is someone who has been active with us here in Dearborn in Michigan from the beginning, right after October 7th, and now she has become nationally known for what she's doing. So please help me welcome our sister Lexi Zeidan.
Thanks, Amer. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
How's everybody doing? All right, so I'm actually going to be doing a spoken word today, not necessarily a speech, and this one is called Virus. I assess the damage, determining the connection between what feels like sanity and insanity. No surgical instrument strong enough to stitch up the recklessness of this inhumanity. Back to the drawing board of the blueprint meant to save lives, not murder them. Feeling torn that the construction of this establishment never considered how to combat this racism. And you see, my people went to school and got their medical degrees, and little did they know they'd ascend into the reality of hate so vile in 2023, but they still hoped. And they dreamed despite the 1948 catastrophe. So many moments where I wish the IV drip was a little more crisp and heavily equipped to help the children withstand the wounds of bombings and bullets and burials so unkind. I promise you no anesthesia can numb the pain felt far beyond these moments of tragedy. Caught between the juxtaposition of war-torn Israel and the terror waged on my people for the last 75 years. It's what led up to October 7th, like a virus that spread from the mere choice to let the agents multiply and kill, and yet we question, why did it attack the heart? Hearts racing, anxious, awaiting the next bomb drop, realistically and metaphorically. What does that even mean anymore when the dystopia has become so real? I'm running out of words between the suicidal thoughts of my Palestinian children to convincing the world that their names deserve to be in graduation books and movies, not on their arms of their dismembered limbs. I have never yearned to be more dismembered from this society. No longer connected like the weaving of the resin hands used to create gauze that dresses the wounds of the hands in America, fixed up and prepared to pull the trigger that has murdered my people. But please know that our heartbeat pulses through patriotic acts and activism felt far beyond the language comprehensible to those filled with fear and not faith. And when someone asks me, where's my smile? I tell them I sent it to the children of Palestine 6,000 miles away. It's in the land where olive trees witness bombings each and every day, where the sun paint hues on resilient Palestinians who always find their way. Someone asked me, where's my smile today? I told them buried under the rubble of what used to be my homeland today. And I asked them, what role are you willing to play? Will you sell your soul to the devil or challenge what the devil has to say? I have one other one that I want to share with everybody. I haven't shared it with anybody yet, so it's new. So I haven't actually practiced it. And it's called Being Palestinian is the Greatest Honor of My Life. To be Palestinian is the greatest honor of my life. I come from faith so deeply rooted. Like our olive trees planted by our ancestors, like our olive trees that give us freedom when nobody else did. I come from pride that runs deep in our blood, like the blood that waters our trees of freedom, not the kind laughed over by our oppressors, but the kind granted to us from Allah. Our language is our power, it's our prayer, and it's our plight. Our resistance is our liberation, it's our duty, and it's our fight. Our allegiance is to our dignity, our land, and our rights. Our integrity leads us on the front lines of resistance, always in sight. Being Palestinian is the greatest honor of my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Lexi. All right, come on up. What's your name? Loudly tell everybody.
Hi, Isa.
Oh, that's a Palestinian name. All right, Jesus. How old are you?
8.
Louder. How old are you?
8.
And where are you from?
Lebanon.
All right. All right, you ready to hit him with one? You ready? Go.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
From the river to the sea,
From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Great job, Asa. Good job, man. All right, our next speaker coming up to the stage. She has been a fixture at the conference this weekend, and I think she has set the tone for us. She has written about Palestine, some of the most popular novels in the world. You know who I'm talking about, Mornings in Jenin and Against the Loveless World. Please help me welcome our sister from Jerusalem, Suzy Abulhawa.
You guys, first of all, you look beautiful. You are amazing and gorgeous. I want you to look around and feel your power and feel your beauty. I'm going to step away from politics for a second because I want to bring it to our culture. It was really fitting that we had Fady, Dr. Fady Joudah come up and read a poem, because no matter who we are, no matter what our political affiliations are, no matter what, our economic situation is, no matter what city we come from in Palestine, where we live in this country, we all exist together on a cultural landscape that has been bequeathed to us by our ancestors over millennia in this single patch of earth between the Mediterranean and the Jordan waters. So I'm going to tell you a short story from our history. And if you were at Palestine Rights Literature Festival, first of all, how many of you guys have heard of the Palestine Rights Literature Festival? Great. If you haven't, you really need to look it up. It happened. It was the most perfectly timed literature festival in the history of festivals. It was 2 weeks before October 7th. And we are currently the subject of a congressional investigation. That's how impactful it was. But this story, I'm going to tell you this story in the power of literature and Palestinian heritage. Back when Napoleon invaded Palestine, Palestinians were divided among the various cities. And there was the merchant class that existed largely, for example, in Haifa and Jerusalem. There was the intellectual class that was largely in the province of Jerusalem. But the warrior class was in Nablus. They don't call it Jabal al-Nar for nothing. And they knew that if they were going to push Napoleon back, they needed Nablus. But there was a lot of tension between the intellectual class, the merchant class, and the Nabulsis. So they went to a family in Nablus, one of the elders, and they convinced them, and they made it clear that this is a foreign invasion. No matter what, we need to fight. And so there were 7 major families in Nablus, and this particular sheikh, this elder, wrote a poem. It was a poem to bring all the houses of Nablus together and fight Napoleon. And they did. And they beat him back. A Palestinian poem launched a war, a resistance that beat Napoleon. I say this because just as we fight here, we have to have 2 major loyalties. A loyalty to our children and the future generations, which entails the liberation of Palestine, and a loyalty to our ancestors who created this glorious, fabled, splendid, beautiful, rich, deep, amazing heritage that is ours. So I want to invite you to make sure you know. A lot of us living in this country get disconnected from these things. And the purpose of Palestine Rights is really to bring this culture back, to bring it back to life, to make sure that it is in our everyday lives, to encourage all of us, all of you, to read Palestine, to eat Palestine, to sing Palestine, to dance Palestine, and to fight for Palestine. Our families are being buried alive en masse. We know that. The suffering is so profound. What I saw in Gaza beggars belief, and I am a merchant of words, I am a writer, and I do not have the language to tell you how deep the horror and the pain and the anguish runs. And it will be generations of recovery. Our only job is to support them. That's it. Whatever other loyalties you might have in this culture, whatever domestic issues you have, our job as Palestinian Americans is to support our family, because this is the Holocaust of our time. This is not an issue. What's happening in Palestine is not an issue. It is a moral truth. It is the moment of truth in our lifetimes. And what happens from this moment on will determine, and this is no exaggeration, it will determine world order for generations to come. And I need everybody to really understand the magnitude of this. And when you talk about voting strategies and whatnot, keep your singular loyalty to our people. And I'm gonna end on one note. There is an army of orphans holed up underground fighting until their last breath. They are the only thing standing between us and total annihilation, and I honor them.
Thank you, Suzy. All right, I love this sign right here that says Democrats fund the genocide of Palestinians. But you're in front of the camera, so just move this way a little bit. But I wanted to give you love for that sign, just like 5 or 6 feet more this way. Good, that's great. But I'll say it again. Democrats fund the genocide of Palestinians. And the other side that says both Democrats and Republicans have blood on their hands, I'm down. I'm down. And please, this flag right here, yeah, because there's a camera behind you. See the camera behind you? I just don't want you to be in front of it. That's all. No, you don't have to. That's fine, too. Okay. People can be here, just not the flags. Just not in front of the cameras. Everyone else, please move to the middle, fill in the space in the middle. But if just you're holding up something high, we don't want to cover the cameras all the way in the back. That's all. All right, now I'd like to bring to the stage. He has been with us at all Palestine events around the country, always supportive. From down in Georgia, our brother from Palestine, the Reverend Fady Abu Aqil.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Where can you go to a convention where you have an American Jew, anti-Zionist, the plenary speaker in the beginning, and end it with an African-American philosopher and a theologian like West? Only ADC. Will you say ADC? We need to thank the staff and all the volunteer and Dearborn for having the biggest convention ever. Give them a big hand. I am the child of the Nakba. That means I was born before the state of Israel. My parents are farmers, and they love God, they love the land, and they love the church. And in 1948, the only thing I remember is leaving our home with my father, 5 sisters, and 2 brothers. And as a 4-year-old kid, you are close to mother. So I was running. So when I think about the children of Gaza, I think about myself running around dad, 5 sisters, 2 brothers. We went up.
We love you.
We went up to Yirka, and we were put up in a makeshift refugee camp, like scouts. We were there several months, and came back. And my mother was alive. And as a teenager, I always wanted to know why my mother did not go with us. So I discovered my mother is very strong. She was the decision maker. She was the treasurer. She was everything. So my Palestinian mother shifted the psyche of good old Americans about women more than ever before. There is no way for Palestinian survivor to continue struggling and continue resisting without women. No way. So as I think about growing up, she said to Dad, you take the children, you can protect them. This is our home. This is our land, and this is our church. They need to kill me in my home. And she refused to leave. But something, when I think about October 7, I want to tell you what happened after 1948. 530 villages were destroyed to the ground, and 1 million people becoming refugees. The only people that stayed on the land, 155,000 people, who became citizens of the new state. They were not allowing us to be called Palestinians. They call us Arabs, right? Mahmoud Darwish wrote, Sajil ana Arabi, because he was not allowed to say Sajil ana Falastini. You understand? Language is very powerful. So as I think about, as a teenager, we couldn't leave from my village to go to Akka, 4 miles. Listen to that. Americans live on the moon, not on the ground. 4 miles from my village to Akka, I couldn't leave to work, go to the hospital, or visit without tasrih min al-hakim al-askari in Kufr Yasif. So if you don't have just a permit to leave Kufr Yasif, you will go to court and you go to jail if you don't have money. That's our life from 48 to 1966. So when America say everything started on October 7, that's baloney. We have been suffering occupation, brutality. I want to tell you a story, and I want to merge it with what's going on now. The story of Jacob. You remember he had 12 children, and the youngest was Joseph. And the 11 kids hated Joseph because the father loved Joseph. And they wanted to kill him. And one of the brothers said, save him. So they put him in a well. That's according to the scripture, okay? So they put him in a well. And then a caravan went to Egypt and took him to Egypt. And he was in a high position in Egypt. And at one point, Palestine had what? Famine. So Jacob said to the children, go to Egypt and bring grain. And they went there and they saw the one that they wanted to kill, kicking, alive, and a decision maker. And he felt the fear in their eyes, in his brother's eyes. So he said to them, look, that's in Genesis 50:20. He said, look, you meant it for evil, but God Almighty turned it around for good. I am right now in a position of power, and I can give you grain and bless you. 2 things. We need to confess what happened October the 7th and after. They meant it for evil, but God turned it around. And right now we need to confess that we are on a global village, on a screen around the world because of October 7. All of our publicity, zilch. All of our talk, zilch. Everything that Amer and Fahid said, zilch. Because of Gaza, today Palestine is a global issue. The second one, we are the children and the grandchildren of the Nakba. That means God now put us in a position of being a lawyer, a professor, a worker, a minister. We are in a position of knowledge and power. And God wants us to use that knowledge and that power to affect our policy in the United States and to change the policy of the United States. So today, I want to thank you for standing for Palestine with millions of people around the world, number one. And two, we need to promise ADC and ourselves, when we go back, we should not be quiet. We must speak in a church, in a masjid, in a synagogue, in a Kiwanis club, in a Rotary club, wherever we are. Our story have the truth. Our story have the truth. And Palestine will be free. Thank God for you, and thank God for the Palestinians.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Free, free Palestine. Free, free. Do you know how to do it? Free, free Palestine. Free, free Come here. Palestine. Ready? Jump up here. Come here. What's your name?
Jude.
Jude, how old are you?
10.
Where are you from?
Palestine.
All right. Let's hear some of your chants. Ready? Really loud. Ready? Go.
Free, free Palestine.
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 Great job, Jude. Get out of here. Be careful. Oh. All right, next I'd like to bring to the stage two sisters who have been using social media to share our beautiful culture for years, to share our culture through food, and now have also taken on Palestine, our cause, as they keep doing what they do. Please help me welcome from right here in Dearborn, Connie and Summer. Homayed. Oh, I thought you were both coming. Oh.
He always messes us up. He calls Summer before he calls Connie. Okay. I'm Connie. Salam, everybody.
Hold it much closer.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Thank you guys for coming. I'm looking out here. I'm from Dearborn. How many of you guys are from Dearborn? Woo! How many of you are not from Dearborn? Woo! Summer, is this a good sight to see when you don't see this many Arabs and they say we're Arab Town, USA? I mean, y'all showed up, so that's a good thing, right? Thank you. Okay, we were told to keep this quick. I see a sign back there. Bombing Palestinian children is not self-defense. When I get up there and I say this to people, they're like, well, they're Palestinian. They're going to become something one day. It hurts me on the inside. How can you call this a war when the other side don't have weapons? I tell everybody every day that I look at it, Palestine does not have weapons. On a soccer field, when one side has the ball and the other side doesn't, who's going to win? Shame on the world for not looking at it. Shame.
So the only weapon that they used against us is the rhetoric, the common things that they talk about. Hamas. When they hear Hamas, they automatically think terrorism. But that's not us. We're not here because we are in any way, trying to implement any kind of violence. We are, for instance, we're Lebanese women. We're from Bint Jbal. What happened to our village, my father's village, as Israel occupied my father's village? What did they say then? You know what I'm saying? We as human beings are fighting against oppression together. To be Palestinian means that you want to fight against oppression. You want to fight for people who are not Palestinian. You want to fight for the people that are in Congo. You want to fight for the Uyghurs. You want to fight for those who are facing oppression still in other countries. Uganda, Somalia, Sudan. They're all going through it. And all their funds are coming from places. They're coming from our American tax dollars. So you wonder, how do we implement some kind of call to action? I ask you all, in November, when it's time to vote, grab your neighbors, grab your immigrant neighbors, make sure they go out and they vote. You guys think at a large scale it matters the most? Those of you within your inner communities, your cities, make sure you're voting for the right people that are going to speak up for you. If you're not, we're not making a difference. It is the small guys that test the big guys to see how we're going to make a change. And that's the most important thing.
Also, boycotting. I still go into homes today. I still see Pepsi. I see Coke. I see people still at Starbucks. Shame on them. Boycotts work. If you're not going to get the government, at least get the companies that are funding the government. That's how it goes. Also, me and a couple of influencers went to Egypt. We were in Cairo. We met with families of Gaza. I get goosebumps because the moms are complaining. They want their husbands back. They want their families back. They want to go back to Gaza. They want to be home. Our main thing right now is getting the education for these children. They're home. They're fighting with their moms all day. You guys, in Egypt, these children are not getting educated because the government of Egypt does not want refugees in their area. We can't, but we can help out. There is funding out there. If you guys want to see that, you can come to me afterwards. But at the end of the day, we do want to see Palestine free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Connie and Summer. Make sure you follow them, support them. Make sure you follow everyone who comes up here today. First, check in on my flag, guys. How you guys doing? Good. Wonderful. All right. Next, coming up to the stage, we all know her. She is the Caucasian Arab. She has been traveling around the world, also just came back from Egypt. We went to Palestine together to do comedy a couple years ago. She is amazing. Everyone loves her. Please help me welcome our sister, Rema Jalak.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
I want to let you know, I am 39 years old, and I was born a Palestinian. That means when I came out of my mother's womb, I was born an activist and a humanitarian. And please excuse me, I normally have things prepared, but as you know, we just got back from Egypt. That is my second time going. My emotions are all over the place. I have mentally checked out, and I may stand up here and cry. But to the Zionist creature regime, just know that these tears are tears from a lioness. We are the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren of Palestine, and we will not be silenced. This genocide did not start on the 7th of October. I am Palestinian. I am Palestinian. I am Palestinian. And I wake up every single morning and remind myself that I am Palestinian. As I said, we recently got back from Egypt, helping our displaced Gazan brothers and sisters, as well as our displaced Sudanese brothers and sisters. So before I get into that, when I tell you that we stand up here and talk about Palestine, we talk about Congo, we talk about Sudan, we talk about Lebanon, and we talk about Yemen. And when we say free Palestine and hands off Palestine, we mean hands off Lebanon, hands off Yemen, hands off Sudan, and hands off Congo, and all oppressed nations. When you stand in front of a Gazan, your life is forever changed. Just looking at them in their eyes, you see their pain. You see the bombs dropping from their eyes. You want to help all of them. And like I said, it's only our second time going, and we go back at the end of the month. And there are so many more that we need to help. Any of you who follow myself, Connie, or Jacob, the link is in our bios on Instagram and TikTok. Please donate, because none of this could happen without you guys. We are feeding our people. We are housing our people. We are uplifting our people. Since I went the first time back in March, I wake up and I hear their screams from the Gazans that we met in Egypt. I have nightmares. I hear their voices, please help us, please help us. Every single Gazan family that we met, their last words to us before we left, please don't forget us. Please go back and tell our stories. Our bodies are being used as vessels, and damn it, it's tiring. I'm tired. But because of them, they give me the strength. I have to take care of myself and be strong because we are their only voices, especially the ones that are displaced living in Gaza, Egypt. They don't have any outside help. We are their only help. They are sitting there waiting for donations. And let me remind you, our people are not a charity case. They don't want the donations, but they have no choice but to survive. Really quickly, I want to read something that one of the Gazan sisters that we helped in Egypt, she sent me a message because it's very important for you guys to know that we still stay in contact. I remember every single one of their names. I remember every single one of their stories. So she had sent me a message on WhatsApp when I came back. Reema, thank you for everything you are doing for our people. I have never seen such an honest person like you doing what you're doing and taking risks and giving so much support, not only materialistic, but also as emotional. You are a silver lighting in this dark world, so selfless, passionate about your people. I appreciate everything you do. People like you make the world a little bit bearable in this crazy era. I hope to see you again. I am honored that I have met such a wonderful person as yourself. Have a good and safe flight. Rest and relax and come back strong so we can continue to support our people. Imagine a person from Gaza telling you to relax and be strong. I want you to know that I am not okay, and that is okay. I want you to know that it is okay to cry. It shows that you are human. It is okay to laugh because they want you to laugh. You have no idea how many people, especially Jacob, a Jewish man from New York coming into Egypt, walking around Egypt, free, free Palestine, or saying, Demmi Falastini, or Allahu Akbar, how much it made them laugh. And I want you to know that it is okay to smile because smiling is sunnah. I am tired of talking about the genocide. I am tired of posting the videos as a social media creator. I am tired of watching the bombs drop on my people. But I am not tired of being tired. I am tired of the world standing by while the Zionist creature regime wipes out entire Palestinian families. I am tired of watching the illegal Zionist creature settlers kick out Palestinians from the West Bank. Shame. And to you guys, every time we meet one of our followers, and I don't even like to call you guys followers, our families. Thank you for what you do. You guys always thank us, but you are the backbone. If it wasn't for you, we couldn't go to Egypt. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be on this stage. So I thank all of you guys, and I hear from all of you a lot. We wish we were there. We wish we could do what you're doing. You are. Physically, you are not there, but mentally and emotionally, you are our support system. You are with us every step of the way. To my fellow brothers and sisters on social media, please clap for our family, please, guys. I'm almost done. I'm so sorry. There's so many people to thank, but really quickly, I want to thank my Lebanese sisters, Connie and Summer. Please give them another round of applause. They went from cooking to using their platforms nonstop for our voices, and we better do the same for our Lebanese brothers and sisters. Because our Lebanese brothers and sisters are also under attack by the Israeli Zionist creature regime. I want to thank people like Jacob, a Jewish American from New York. I already had respect for him before we went to Egypt. But when we went to Egypt, he cried with our people. He laughed with our people. He brought our people comfort. And for that, I will always stand beside him. and to the Zionist creature regime. For so many years, you have silenced Palestinian voices. And we are standing here today, and for however long it takes, to tell you, you will no longer silence our voices. You, Zionist creature regime, will no longer control our narrative, our future, our destiny, because we are Palestinian and we are destined to be a free people. In a free land where all religions live together in peace. My grandfather died in Palestine, never seeing a free Palestine. And I will not let my father die without seeing a free Palestine. To my fellow Palestinians, you raise your heads up high each and every single day. Chin up, chest out. Be bold, be strong. Be proud, do not give up. We are almost there. Keep pushing, keep showing up to protest, keep boycotting. I'm done. One more thing. See, now you took me off track there, buddy. See, no, I'm just kidding. And to our people of Palestine, Lebanon, Congo, Sudan, Yemen, and all oppressed nations across the globe, fear not. We will take care of you today, tomorrow, and for however long it takes. Free, free Palestine.
Thank you, Reema. I like this little Arab kid. He came over here with a rock. Someone take it from him, or he hurts one of us. What's your name again? Come here. Just stand right here. Stand right here. Give me a few more. You were loud.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free
again.
Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free,
one more.
Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
All right, our next speaker coming up to the stage is also using his social media. He's challenging the traditional Zionist viewpoints online. Excuse me. Please help me welcome our brother Bil Nassar. Okay, make sure you stay close to the mic.
Yes, sir. How are we doing today, guys? I'm truly humbled to be here. Thank you, guys. This one's for my family in Gaza and every other family in Gaza and every soul all over Palestine. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts to see our people oppressed, from children to journalists in bulletproof vests. Mother hugs her child as she lays him to rest, crying as she hugs him tight to her chest. Never hopeless, yet they're homeless, only rubble is left. No doctors in the hospitals, no meds on the shelf. Fire breaking out, my people crying for help. Think of our people while you think of yourself. My brothers and sisters, take a look around you. We have people from all over. As important as it is to show up to these events, what's more important is what we do in between them. Take advantage of this time, collaborate, network, and most importantly, support one another. You don't have to be Palestinian. You don't have to be Ghazawi. You just have to be human. We will not be stopped. We will not be silenced. They will silence our streams, but they will not silence our screams. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Thank you, guys.
That's my favorite speaker of the day. Short, and let's say it again what Bilal just told us. Free, free Palestine. Free, free. Louder. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Let me bring up another brother who has also been challenging all the Zionists online and making sure that our voice is getting out there. And he was doing things in other realms and then brought it back home to Palestine like we all have. Please help me welcome our brother Hamza Saadah. Stay close to the mic. I will. Free, free Palestine!
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 Salam, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I just want to take a quick moment to thank ADC for inviting me to ArabCon. Wallahi, I mean, it's been an incredible experience, seriously, and I'm very grateful for every single person that has shown up here. This is the least we could do for our brothers and sisters in Gaza and in Palestine. Such amazing people who are so passionate about, our culture and our struggle. And I also want to thank them for dedicating the time today for this rally in solidarity with Palestine. Every time we take the streets in rallies like this, we are showing the entire world that Palestinians are not alone in their struggle, right? That we will always do whatever we can to support their struggle for liberation. It's been 11 months. 11 months. Shame! 11 months of murder. 11 months of dispossession. 11 months of genocide. 11 months of innocent Palestinians being massacred in the tens of thousands. Over 40,000 people have been killed, maybe even 5 times as much, half being women and children. Almost 2 million Palestinians are internally displaced in Gaza, all cramped into Rafah as refugees. It seems like every day there's a news story about another massacre in Gaza where countless more innocent Palestinians are killed. Not died, how the news says it, they were killed in cold blood by Israel, the Zionist regime. But why is this genocide happening in the first place? It's because of the Palestinian people refusing, Gaza specifically, refusing to accept the siege and the occupation as their reality. They are making a stand for justice and liberation. We are talking about the past 11 months, but Gaza has been resisting for over 7 decades of ethnic cleansing, colonial violence, dispossession, mass imprisonment, and siege. Since 1948, it was Gaza that has been the beacon of the Palestinian resistance. The people of Gaza are fighting for the freedom of all Palestinians. The cries from all of Gaza's men, women, and children, their calls for justice and liberation are being heard by the entire world, striking at the heart of the imperialist system. Even those who have been martyred, their voices are inside all of us. And every time we gather here, we are honoring their legacy and continuing their struggle. We will honor all our martyrs. All our parents, mothers, fathers. We will honor all our martyrs. All our children, sons and daughters. Real quick, my mom taught me about the Palestinian term samud, the Palestinian idea of steadfastness and perseverance. Samud is how we stand tall in the face of oppression. Samud is how we continue to resist in any form, no matter how dire the situation is. Samud is the way that we endure our suffering and never become discouraged, because we know that the truth that one day we will be victorious. One day we will see a Palestine liberated from the river to the sea, inshallah. Samud is the burning love that every Palestinian has for their homeland, a fire that can never be extinguished. Gaza has experienced siege, occupation, and genocide, but they will always remain Samud. That is one thing that the Zionist entity can never kill. As I'm talking to you now, we're seeing it again in Nablus and Jenin, all over the West Bank, where they are carrying out the torch of Gaza's resistance and continuing their struggle. And we're here too. We're here to amplify the voices of Palestine and to demand justice. We demand an immediate and permanent ceasefire. That is the least the Palestinian people deserve. We demand an end to the 17-year siege on Gaza. We demand the freedom of all Palestinian prisoners. By the way, they are hostages as well. We demand an end to the apartheid regime, a complete dismantle of Israel. We demand an end to the illegal and immoral occupation of Palestine from the river to the sea. We demand a free Palestine from the river to the sea. I'm going to end with another chant. No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace.
No justice, no justice,
no peace.
No justice,
no peace.
Thank you.
Great job, Hamza. All right, let's move it along. We have our next speaker coming up. You all also know him from social media and everything. Please help me welcome our brother, Jacob Berger.
Thank you, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Jacob Berger. Let me move this up a little bit. My name is Jacob. I'm just take this out. My name is Jacob Berger. I'm a Jewish American actor, activist, and I say loudly, not in our name. Before I speak, I just want to say thank you to all of you who have been so loving and kind to me at a time when the Jewish community has ostracized me and kicked me out, whether it's friends or family that I've lost. I know what I'm doing is right, and you guys show me the true resiliency of the Palestinian people, of the Arab people, so I want to thank you for that. One thing I want to get, as Reema and Connie spoke, we just came back from Egypt a couple weeks ago, and it was a life-changing experience for me. Obviously, many of you already know that I'm aware of what's happening in Palestine, but then when you go out there to Egypt, we were meeting with the people of Gaza, and to hear the story from a young girl that she watched her father be killed by Israel in front of her very eyes, her whole home exploded. I'm never going to be the same after that. I cannot live the same normal American life that we used to. Before I move on to solutions and things I want to talk about, I want to make a comment about content creators and influencers. Shame on all the creators who do not speak out for Palestine and the Arab people. Shame on all of you to act like this is not happening, to go on in your little world, in your little capitalistic American world, and act like it's not happening. Shame. But also shame on the creators that maybe co-op Palestine but do nothing for the cause. They use it for coins, they use it to get attention, but they do nothing. They do not post direct action flyers, they do not post fundraisers, they do nothing. I encourage everyone has to do more. Because let me tell you, if you ever find yourself asking yourself, am I doing enough for Palestine? The answer is no. None of us are. Even me, who's been out to Egypt and helped people on the ground. Now, we need to talk about solutions. We've seen what this government has done. The government is not going to save Palestine. We think Democrats, Republicans, this has been made very clear. They want to continue on with this genocide. And that's what it is. It's a genocide. Let's stop arguing with these people, these gaslighting people who are like, oh, well, technically, no. This is a genocide. We see with our own very eyes. Don't lie to me. Shame on them. But what we need right now is a people's revolution. The revolution will not be televised. Now, that does not mean that it won't be on TV or internet. What that means is the revolution starts in the mind. Everyone needs to wake up. We need to be collective. America does a very good job of individualizing. Let me give you a story, because in Egypt, we heard horrible stories of things that happened in Gaza, but it was also filled with very beautiful moments that show me what family and community and faith is. One of the families that we helped house, they invited us over. I tried mansef for the first time. Now, I know they say Jordanian mansef is better than Palestinian mansef, but that's a discussion for another day. But they brought the tray out, and the whole family, and in America, you know, they would bring us plates or bowls, individual, but no. We ate as a family. We all had our spoon and we ate from the same tray. And I thought that was very representative of the community that the Arab and Palestinian people have. And that is something that we need to bring to America. All right? And don't be afraid. I'm sorry, I didn't write a speech. I'm a freestyle kind of guy. Do not be afraid to cut off friends and family who do not stand with you. I have walked away from plenty of friendships. People that won't even like or share a story that I've posted. And they come to me, Jacob, why did you unfollow me? Well, to be honest with you, I'm not giving any of my online energy to anyone who's not talking about Palestine. Oh, well, you know, I got to do a little more research. I got to think about research. It's a year in. What research do you have to do? The bottom line is people do not care about other people. And we need to change that right now. And we need to also get on the same page. We need to support the resistance, all right? Long live the resistance. We need to end the occupation, because there's no peace with people that look at you people as animals. There's no peace with them. So long live the resistance. Long live the mourners. Takbir! 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 Thank you, everybody.
All right. Now, next, I'd like to bring up to the stage. He has been talking about Palestine since way before it was a trend, been rapping about Palestine. He's been one of our voices. Please help me welcome, well, you know him in a different name. We know him as Felipe Andres Coronel. Please help me welcome our brother, Immortal Technique. One second. I'll ask everyone in the back, please come join. Please, let's not do any of that pictures and stuff right now. Please come join us. Let's give all our speakers the respect they need. One more time, our brother, Immortal Technique.
Originally, I had prepared a speech, but I think that there are so many elders in this crowd that could talk about the historical aspect of what has happened and the personal effect on their lives much better than me. I'm here because I'm an artist that has not forgotten not just his humanity, but the mission of art. A piece of art doesn't take 1 day, 2 days. It may take an artist their entire life to do it. And the truth is that art reflects the horrific reality of what people live. It's not meant to make you comfortable. Sometimes it's not meant to make you happy. I've talked about rape and murder in my music, but it has never been gratuitous. It's never been for the purpose of just bragging about something that happened in the neighborhood. It's to show people the after effect of what others glorify, right? In the dawn of this country, the European settlers used to brag about how they murdered Native Americans and would wipe out their villages. Such as during the creation of the state of Israel. Their argument is not with us. It's with Ben Gurion and the founders of Israel that clearly wrote in all of their writings, we're going to have to ethnically cleanse almost 1 million people to get them out of here. So the mythology of America and Israel is very similar. The mythology of a land without a people for a people without a land. As if that land was empty. As if the West was empty. As if it needed you to conquer it to bring us civilization. No one has ever brought another human being ever in the history of human existence civilization. You have brought them conquest and destruction. But like I said, anyone can speak to this well. You brought me here because I do it in a different way well. So, as it goes. It's like the birth of baby Muhammad, the movement I started, cause spar with the hardest. A martyr regarded as Spartacus hearted. It doesn't matter whose missiles can shoot the farthest when you're a target in the Gaza City Teutoburg forest. Corrupted elections. Build a Berger's like cancer, it grows with infection. Nepotism is the gold in the conductor's connection, and ignorance is the prison that the people are kept in. The U.S. military's not there for the people's protection. They're just there to protect an investment. That's why people get arrested, electrocuted, molested. Connected streets are infested with those tired of protesting. Traumatized children grow to guerrilla garrisons. 9/11 generations pale in comparison. And you will learn a lesson repeated through history, that no matter what you think, occupation is not victory. I love you guys. I have time for one more. This one is dedicated to all the people that have lost someone, whether it was in Gaza, whether it was a family member in the West Bank, because some of the things that we haven't been hearing, so focused on what the United States and Israel are doing in Gaza, that we must always remember that they're doing this everywhere else in Palestine. They're consistently scraping away at the West Bank, creating more settlements, and none of this can happen without the support of the United States. None of this. Listen, everyone considered Hamas to be the smallest and the weakest entity out of all of the Arab entities that existed there. And without the help of the United States, the IDF that has been on, guard duty in the West Bank, breaking little kids' arms for the past 10, 15 years. They're not strong like a conventional army would be. So they needed the United States for what they call CQC, close quarter combat, when they invaded Gaza. Just for the people that don't understand, it was Iraq and Afghan veterans of the United States military that helped them there. Why? I'll give you a brief example. Sometimes people would put IEDs on the doors in Iraq, so when the soldiers would kick it in, they would blow their leg off and half their body would be gone. And now they have a scanning machine, like a sonic machine. This is the future, ladies and gentlemen. We see the war in Ukraine. What does it have to do with Gaza? Well, it's a drone warfare. It's the future of killing people. Why send a man when we can send a machine to kill these children? Now it's not my fault. The machine just blew them up. That is the future of what's happening. So I just want to dedicate this little poem of mine to the people that have lost somebody here. Doesn't matter who it is. It's like a long winter where you watch everything die. Colder than the farthest that the sun has been in the sky. You freeze to death when you stop, take a moment to cry. The teardrops turn into icicles in your eye. So many funerals, you start to feel empty inside. You have to cut away pieces of yourself to survive. It's like the good earth is running out of things to provide. You see the truth when you let go of your pride. I used to be angry at my dead friends, like, why the fuck you left me behind? And now I'm happy that they moved on with their spiritual lives. They don't have to live with the pain or deception and lies. And I'll know that I'll see them again right before it's my time. Look, I don't pretend to know what happens after we die, but I promise you all get to find it at the end of the ride. I can't save the world, but I could take care of my tribe. And through the longest winter, we will survive. I love you guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate the invitation. I want to thank everyone that was on this stage. I especially want to thank the people who brought their children out. You guys are the future and the next generation. Often when I go to activist meetings, I'll be honest, I've seen younger faces on cash. But the truth is that these people are the future. So the next time you come here, bring your son, bring your daughter, bring your nephew, bring your friends' children, so that they can understand that one day, if they're not there, one thing that I was told by the Palestinian people that is just as important, if not more important than the land, is the identity of the people. The fact that people want to write you out of history, pretend that Palestinians never existed, and there is a coordinated campaign to do so, ladies and gentlemen. So never forget that your existence is your resistance. I love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Immortal. Thank you, Immortal Technique. Another hand for Felipe. Give me a couple, Abbas. Give me a couple good chants. Come on, he was talking about the kids. Give me a couple ones.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Again.
From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free.
All right. Our next speaker coming up, we just have a couple more. Our next speaker coming up, she is the organizing director of ADC, and she grew up in Palestine and been here with us from the jump. Please help me welcome our sister, Zena Ashrawi.
Wow, that was amazing. I mean, really incredible. Thank you all for being here in the heat. It's really important. Your presence is really important, so I appreciate it. Can you all hear me okay? Is this okay? So I want to first mention that tomorrow marks the 42nd anniversary of the Sabra and Shatila massacres, where over 3,000 Palestinians were killed. I also want to mention that we are almost at the 1-year mark of when the genocide started. But before I continue, I would like all of us to take a moment of silence and reflection for the souls and the martyrs that we've lost, and for the lives that are currently in Gaza and in all of Palestine. Moment of silence, please. Thank you. I can't believe we are still witnessing and experiencing the unimaginable horrors in Palestine. I can't believe we are bearing witness to unfathomable depravity. We have to continue to stand up and speak up, because silence is complicity. We have to continue to stand up and speak up, because our voices challenge all the distortions and the lies spewed and weaponized against our people. We have to continue to stand up and speak up as affirmation of our rights and our future. We have to continue to stand up and speak up because it is the moral, the principled, and the right thing to do. We have to stand up and speak up because the truth needs advocates. The truth about the settler colonial project in Palestine. The truth about the unspeakable and despicable injustice and the many massacres the Zionist entity has and its proxies have committed over the years. The truth about the fallacy of Western democracy. The truth about impunity and the violation of U.S. law, double standard, and hypocrisy. The truth about Zionist collusion and intrusion in the U.S. and Western governments. So speak up, stand up, and remember, the ripple effect of your voice reverberates in all of us and in Palestine. We won't be defined by our occupiers. We won't be defined by their talking points and their Zionist agendas. We aren't defined by their racism, their hate, and their degradation. We claim our heritage and our culture. We possess our bodies, our land, our past, and our future. We will never surrender to the pain of the present. Know us and uplift us for our msakhan and our hummus and our wara' dawali. Know us and uplift us for our silver olive groves, our rolling hills, and the beauty of our sunsets and sunrises. Know us and uplift us for our love of the land and our tradition of nurturing it. Know us and uplift us for our sense of humor, our art, our embroidery, and our creativity and innovation. Know us for our kindness and our resilience. Honor the memory and sacrifice of our martyrs. Uplift life, land, and hope. Because our voice is our key. Our home is Palestine. We shall return. We will be free in our lifetime.
All right, now as I bring up our last speaker, who's going to introduce our last speaker, I'd like everybody to come towards the middle. Please, let's all be one family. If you're in the back, move up. If you have a sign, though, please don't block the cameras. So if you have a sign, stay on the side. Everyone else, please. If you're on the sides over here, please come join us for our last couple speakers. If you're in the back, please move forward. And please, no more pictures and stuff until we finish our last speaker. So please, let's do no more pictures and side conversations till we finish our last speaker. Come join us if you're on the side, if you want to come join us for our last speaker. The last person I want to bring up to the stage who will introduce our keynote speaker. She has... I'll wait till everyone wants to be with us and just listening on the stage. All right. Our last speaker to introduce our keynote, she has been an activist with ADC and with Arabs. I actually learned from her as we marched together, and she spoke against the Iraq war in the 90s and against the sanctions that killed over 1 million Iraqi children in the 90s. And she has been someone who has stood with us from the beginning, and I've learned so much from her. Please help me welcome our sister from North Carolina, Rania Masri.
Keep blowing it. Stay very close. Hello. I come to you from the swing state of North Carolina to the swing state of Michigan. And I come to you to say that we resist. And we know what it means to resist. Because the people who are resisting in Yemen and Palestine and Lebanon and Syria have taught us. To resist means to be strategic. To resist means to be defiant. And above all, to resist means to be hopeful. When our people in Palestine, in Gaza, in Tul Karam, in Nablus, in Ramallah, in Al-Quds, وبأراضي الداخل ب 48 hold on to their identity and resist, they are saying they imagine freedom and they are fighting for freedom. When the Lebanese stood up and resisted, they imagined freedom and they built the freedom. The Lebanese threw the Israelis out of southern Lebanon more than 24 years ago. They imagined and they fulfilled the resistance. When the people of Yemen have stood up and they said, our blood is not more valuable than our families in Palestine, they are not only resisting, they are imagining and fulfilling solidarity. And they have shown us that. So we follow their lead when we resist. And we are told here in the United States, oh, you've got to be realistic. You've got to be practical. And what they mean is they don't want us to imagine our freedom. But we resist by imagining a freedom. We resist by refusing the criminal duopoly. We resist by saying, yes, we have a choice outside of the duopoly, outside of the purple fascist. We resist from the swing state of North Carolina to the swing state of Michigan by saying no to Holocaust terrorists. I gotta make that clear because folks are coming to us and saying, whoa, if you say no to Holocaust terrorists, you're saying yes to Donald Trump. And we say, we know Donald Trump. And if you want to bring Donald Trump to us, bring him on. We will live under Donald Trump and not live under genocidal Holocaust terrorists because we hold the criminals accountable. We hold the criminals accountable. Today, the Ministry of Health in Gaza published the updated list of the martyrs. 14 pages. 14 pages of the names of our children killed by U.S.-funded weaponry under the age of 1. So yes, Kamala Harris, that is a Holocaust. And yes, to all those Democrats that are waiting for clarity, oh, it is clear enough. It is clear enough for us to say no to Kamala Harris. And we are brave enough not to be scared by the threat of Donald Trump. But we resist enough to have the courage to imagine something different. We gotta remember we have the courage to imagine something different. We have the courage to say no. We have a choice. And I don't mean this out of rhetoric. I'm not just saying words. Today, in the United States of America, in almost every state in the United States of America, there is one candidate on the ballot that says no to genocide and yes to peace. One candidate on the ballot that says no to environmental destruction, no to the incarceration of our black and brown bodies in the United States, no to the theft of our money from the United States to the overbloated, most lethal U.S. military. Only one candidate on almost every ballot in the United States, which means she can win the presidency. Let us repeat that. Let us repeat that. We can win the presidency. All it takes from us is to imagine. And imagination is the root of resistance. That's the starter for the resistance. So when we say we support the resistance in Palestine, we support the resistance in Yemen, we support the resistance in Lebanon, we support the resistance in Syria, that means we vote for Jill Stein. That's what it means to be hopeful, to be strategic, to be defiant. Means to give our vote to the only candidate who is authentic, who is proud, and who has walked with us for decades, who is a medical doctor who knows that our bodies cannot be healed under a broken healthcare system in the United States, and therefore she went as a medical doctor and embraced environmental justice. So we say again, in support of the resistance, to honor our martyrs, to honor our ancestors, and because we love our children yet to be born, we do believe that we can be free. Repeat that after me. We believe we can be free. So join me in welcoming the future President of the United States of America, Dr. Jill Stein. Woo! This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what justice looks like. This is what freedom looks like. Freedom for Gaza. Freedom for Palestine. Freedom here in the U.S. of A. Palestine will be free. And this is where it starts. It is such an honor to be here. This is ground zero for the resistance for freedom, justice, peace, and an end to the outrageous genocide being conducted not just by the state of Israel, but by the war criminals here in the USA. This is a genocide that we can end. We can end it right now with a single phone call. That is how the genocide that ran into Lebanon in the 1980s, it was ended with a single phone call from Ronald Reagan, who called the president of Israel to say, bring the troops home now, not one more missile, not one more bomb, and within 24 hours, the war was over. We demand no less than that. That is why Holocaust Harris is not acceptable. That is why Trump the tyrant is not acceptable. There is no choice when one candidate is currently conducting a genocide and the other candidate promises to finish the job. And if you saw that horrible debate the other night, if you could stand to sit with it, I don't know how many could bear to even watch it. Not many. But there they were, competing for who could pledge allegiance the most to the state of Israel. That's what their debate was about, while they continue to shower Israel with unlimited funding, with intelligence, with diplomatic support, and with 80% of the weapons that are being used to murder children in Gaza and beyond. We are not okay with that. We demand another choice. Our campaign will be on the ballot, much against their intentions. They pulled out all the stops to prevent us from being the choice that the American people want. An anti-genocide, anti-war, pro-worker, climate emergency, anti-police state, pro-reparations, pro-education, pro-healthcare as a human right for everyone. We are the only choice. And they are terrified. Number one, they couldn't keep us off the ballot.
They hired their army of lawyers, which they proudly announced last spring, that they would have an army of corporate lawyers in order to prevent the American people from having a choice in the election. And they took us to court in case after case. We continue to fight over ballot access in the state of Nevada. We're now going to the Supreme Court, and our case was just accepted there to appeal it. But we also just won in the state of Georgia. So we will be a choice, an anti-genocide choice in Georgia. We also won in the state of Wisconsin, where we are an anti-genocide choice. And in many of these swing states, we're not just on the ballot, but we're actually winning the day in the polls. And they are terrified out of their minds about that the American people have discovered there is a choice that the American people are demanding. So what are they doing now? In the first phase of the campaign, they had their army of lawyers. They advertised in order to hire people to manage spies and infiltrators, to infiltrate our organizations, much like COINTELPRO, much like the Black Panthers were treated, much like the Muslim community is treated. They insert their spies, their disruptors, and they attack our communities secretly. And we have to fight them in court and in all kinds of places. But they actually had the gall to publicly advertise, to disrupt our campaigns, all the third parties, through these hirings. They also had the gall to hijack our public funding. You may remember on your income tax form, there's a little checkoff box. If you want to contribute to publicly funded candidates who are not taking money from big corporations, from AIPAC, from the war industry, there is another source of funding that's not selling your soul to the devil. It's called public funding. So we earned hundreds of thousands of dollars in public funding. And what did they do? At the last minute, they hijacked it and said that we could not use it. We still haven't gotten it, but they held on to it when we most needed it to be on the ballot. This is why in some states we're on as a write-in campaign rather than actually a ballot line. We're mostly on through ballot lines, but there are about 7 states where we will be on as a write-in. But that's because they blocked us by hijacking our funding. So that shows how scared they are of actually facing us in the court of public opinion, actually having a real debate, actually having a choice to shut down genocide now. They are terrified because they know that the American people have already stood up to shut down this genocide now. So now they've moved into the second phase, where they are basically trying to silence us and to scare us and to scare and divide voters. So they have all kinds of smear campaigns out there, and they're pulling out all of their attack dogs. It started with Jamie Harrison, who is the head of the Democratic National Committee. He's like the lobbyist's lobbyist. He's the guy who's represented the war industry, Lockheed Martin. He represents the fossil fuel industry. He's represented Big Pharma and Merck. He represents Walmart and the exploitation of working people. That's who he lobbies for. That's the money behind the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. They have their version of that too, of course. But that was their first attack dog. And he attacked me with this old, disproven smear campaign, which Hillary Clinton launched because she couldn't bear the thought that she could not win against a clown, a talk show clown, and so she had to blame it on Russia, that I was a tool of Russia. That actually went to the Senate Intelligence Committee, for those who've been investigated here on outrageous for outrageous and repressive purposes. I was investigated for 3 years by the Senate Intelligence Committee, and they could not find a single incriminating fact. They laid that smear absolutely to rest. There is no truth in that whatsoever, but that's what the Democratic Party is trying to smear us with again. When that didn't work, and he got hugely ratioed, made a complete fool of himself on social media, then it was AOC, who we call AOC Pelosi. Can you say that? AOC Pelosi. Because that's who she is. That's where good movements go to die in the Democratic Party. And she's a good example of that. And what did she attack us with? She said it was predatory for me to be running for office and offering people another anti-genocide option. This is predatory. They tried to smear us with this idea that Greens go away. We only come out to run for presidential elections. No, it's the media that goes away. They only cover us in the presidential elections, which, by the way, we have to run in presidential elections in order to have ballot lines. That's thanks to the rules that they created. So, they try to push this catch-22 on us. They force us to run in these elections when actually most of our time and energy is spent running in local races for school committees, for mayors, for city councils. We have actually elected over 1,500 Greens to local office over the past couple of decades. So reject that smear when you hear that one. And there will be others as well. But do not take these fear campaigns and smear campaigns at face value. They are a reflection of how scared the Democrats are. Why? Because of the power that starts right here. This is ground zero for the resistance to genocide. And we started this. And where did it start from? You may have heard last night Macklemore saying that he got courage from another musician, another rapper, who stood up and started saying no to genocide, which gave him the courage. And I have to say for myself, this community has been an incredible source of courage. The Arab American community and the Muslim American community is the personification of courage. Courage is contagious, and it is spreading like a wildfire. So we are seeing our numbers come up in the polls. We are seeing people say no to this Kool-Aid that they are trying to ram down our throats. This idea that we have to vote for an active genocider or another one who promises to finish the job. No, we do not. If you vote for a genocide candidate, you are endorsing genocide. You are affirming genocide. We say we will not do that. Every vote for our campaign, every vote for our anti-genocide campaign, people ask, well, am I throwing away my vote? No, you're throwing away your vote. You're doing worse than throwing away your vote. You are endorsing genocide if you vote for the pro-genocide candidates. By supporting our campaign, every vote is a shot across the bow of the empire to tell them that we are here, we are going to shut down the genocide, and we are getting organized. This is not only a moral imperative, this is a practical imperative, because 1 million lives are hanging in the balance right now. The United Nations reported that 1 million people in Palestine were blocked from receiving any food aid whatsoever last month. And there's not much food to go around in Gaza. Not only because Israel has blocked the entry of food and water and medicine and everything else and shelter, But Israel has also bombed the warehouses and destroyed the food that exists. This is an absolute monstrosity that is running the show in Israel. And we cannot continue to fund this and give Israel a free pass. So we not only say the genocide ends now, but the weapons, the flow of weapons and money for this genocidal regime, this unbelievably outrageous, murderous regime, this ends now as well. We are winning in the court of public opinion, and it is a credit to everyone here that we have won this debate. We don't have to persuade the American people or the people of the world. The only people we need to persuade are not persuadable. Those are the war criminals who are holding higher office in this country, which is why we say it is our job to remove them from office and send them to The Hague as quickly as humanly possible. And let me finish with this. Don't let them for a minute tell you that resistance is futile. It's in fact the only moral, ethical, and practical thing to do. We have the numbers. We have the votes. 68% of Americans oppose the genocide and want an immediate end. 61% of Americans already say that the aid and the flow of weapons must shut down now. So we have won in the court of public opinion. What we have to do is fight in our elections to bring our government into alignment with the higher moral values, with the moral imperative of the hour. And let me just say, this is not rocket science. This is the ABCs of running elections. That means we get out and flyer, we table, whether it's at your mosque or your synagogue or your school. They can't stop you if you're out on the sidewalk and in public spaces. This is what we must do. Table, flyer, door knock, phone bank, and fundraise. It's simply a matter of turning the crank. Remember this. There are 3 pro-genocide candidates on the ballot. That includes Trump, Harris, and RFK. 3 pro-genocide candidates on the ballot for just about every voter. They will be splitting the pro-genocide vote. We will be the one anti-genocide, pro-worker, anti-war, climate emergency, pro-reparations, anti-mass incarceration, anti-drug wars. There is a huge mass of people who are looking to vote for themselves, to vote to better our lives, which the Democrats and Republicans won't do. What they do is basically serve Wall Street. The Democrats make promises, but they break them. At the end of the day, they are creatures of Wall Street, the war machine, AIPAC, and the State of Israel. So we have the numbers, we have the values, we have the solutions. If you go to our website, JillStein2024.com, you can read our platform. Unlike Kamala Harris, we're not keeping it a secret so that we can kind of fool you and pull an Obama on you. An Obama who was running for, he was going to be the hope and change. Well, he was the hope and change for Wall Street, as it turned out, because he bailed out Wall Street to the tune of trillions while he threw out millions of homeowners. That's what Kamala Harris is doing, trying to keep her agenda quiet. She basically put up essentially a repeat of the Joe Biden agenda on her website. And now she's backing away from some of it, like increasing taxes on the wealthiest. She's backing away from much of that. So and she has a track record as a chameleon. So whatever she says today, there's absolutely no reason to think that she's going to do it tomorrow. So we have the solutions. We have the answers that the American people are clamoring for. What we don't have is access to the corporate media. We've been getting some. AOC did us such a favor. She basically opened the door for us to bigger media. And although they are using that opportunity again to try to smear us and conduct fear campaigns, it's absolutely backfiring. So if you go to, like, the Breakfast Club, one of the biggest media sources out there, even though we were attacked by the Democratic apologist who was brought on to give us a hard time, even though we were attacked, we kind of made mincemeat out of her and exposed her. Like Amer was saying last night, let them keep talking because they tell you who they are. And they are doing that. AOC and the others, they've also turned us at the mercy now of Liz Smith. Who is she? She is the woman who Andrew Cuomo used to smear and attack the women who had been harassed by the now disgraced former governor of New York. So Liz Smith was the attack dog against harassed women. They have now set her to harass another woman and tried to drive us out of the election. It is shame, and they're exposing themselves as just outrageous, shameful tricksters, fraudsters, corrupted abusers that they are. So we are gaining now. Our numbers are growing. Our audience is growing. Our social media is growing. We say thank you, AOC. Keep bringing it on because this exposure is exactly what we need. At the end of the day, this is a grassroots campaign. That means we own it. And whether it's for myself, whether it's for another anti-genocide candidate, I don't want to stand here and tell you who to vote for, but I think you know what your choices are. I think you know how to be strategic. Let me just say that it's not rocket science to enact that strategy to defeat genocide. All we have to do is turn that crank and own this campaign. Own this campaign. Get your friends out to register to vote. Make sure they come out to vote. Bring them in to go door knocking with you or to go tabling with you. This is a grassroots campaign. We're not only reaching out to the Arab American and the Muslim American communities, it's also the African American communities. It's the communities resisting mass incarceration. The communities resisting the genocide, the ongoing slow genocide against people of color and African Americans in particular in this country. That is one out of every 3 eligible voters decided not to vote in 2020. Who are they? They are of color, they are younger, and they are low income. Exactly the people who need what we are offering in our agenda. This is all about getting the word out to our African American neighbors, our neighbors in the hood, our neighbors who are struggling for housing, who are struggling with police violence, which we also have solutions to. This is not rocket science. And you know who's training our police forces these days, by the way? It is the Israeli occupation forces. And it's often under democratic city councils that they are brought in and cop cities are being built. And you know what else? The draft has been brought back in this country, and everyone between the ages of 18 and 25, all males, and they're probably coming for women soon as well. But right now it's all men who are being registered for the draft automatically. They know where you are. The only thing that needs to happen is for the warmonger president to say it's a state of emergency. We're sending you now to fight for Israel in Gaza. That could happen. It could also happen in Ukraine. It could also happen in Taiwan and China. This is why you don't want warmongers in the White House, period, for any of us. So I want to leave you with the words of Alice Walker, who said, the biggest way people give up power is by not knowing we have it to start with. We've got it. We are going to use it. And we are going to end the genocide in Gaza. And we are going to start building an America and a world that works for all of us. We are unstoppable together. Thank you so very much.
Keep it going for Dr. Stein, everybody. Down, down with occupation. All right. One last saying, but one more hand from our Yemeni brother and Lebanese brother for holding up the flag for a couple hours. He said he wanted to say one more thing. Go ahead, Abbas.
Free, free Palestine! I just want everyone to remember, from the river to the sea,
from the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free. All right, thank you guys, everybody. Listen, take care of each other, be proud of each other, support each other. Look at the person next to you, tell them thank you for coming today. Now look at everybody and tell them I'm proud of you. And look at everybody, tell them I love you. And as you walk back into the hall, Lucia has one more message. Louisa has one more message.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation's got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, the occupation's got to go. What? Oh, yeah. The vendors are still inside, so please go and support them. Thank you for standing out with us here in the heat. And let's all make our way back inside. What do you want? You want to say? Sure. Film screening at Wayne State on Tuesday at 6. What's the name of the film? Oh, that's right. Gaza is our home. Wayne State University at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. All right, everybody, be safe.
Farmington Hills Holocaust Museum. Amer. You guys are protesting in front of the Holocaust? It's every Sunday. It's a Holocaust survivor.